with Housing Habits with the Annie Zimmerman team here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Today I wanted to talk about the 3 different ways that our 55 plus clients make their move happen. And this is particularly dealing with the process of selling one home and moving into another home. I know that can be quite an overwhelming thought to have to organize and add in the element of everything that's happening while you're under contract on both deals can be not fun. I think that once you are able to kind of get a grasp on the 3 main ways that people do it, you can kind of pick and choose which one is going to make most sense for you in terms of how you deal with stress, what things particularly will stress you out, and also just preparing yourself mentally for some of the things that you might have to deal with and what's going to make the most sense for you. And at least 1 or 2 of them might be ways that you haven't considered yet. So listen up. The first way is that same day move. So this takes a lot of coordination, but it basically involves settling on your house, current home, the same day that you're purchasing your next home. So this is certainly the best if you don't want to take the chance of owning 2 houses at once. However, it can be very stressful. You have to coordinate 2 different moves. Sometimes one gets held up for one reason or another. The buyers for your current home need another day or so to get financing together. The sellers for your current home, movers canceled and they have to, reschedule. So many different things could go wrong. Ideally not. And most of the time it works out just fine, but very stressful. I cannot stress enough how stressful it is to settle on both homes on the same day. You're also having to coordinate movers at that same time, trying to schedule your walkthrough. You certainly don't want to move stuff into your new home until you've had that final walkthrough to make sure that the condition is good. You kind of lose a lot of power asking for something to be fixed if you already have the mover schedule and you already have to move in that day anyway. So again, that's the standard way that I think most people think about moving is the same day move. The second way that a lot of our buyers are doing it now is with temporary housing. So this would involve selling your current home first and then moving into temporary housing. That can be for weeks, month to month, a year. Really depends on what makes the most sense for you. The benefit to this would be that you're able to pull cash from your current home. You're able to make sure that you're getting top dollar for your current home. And then it allows you to focus on your next home that you're moving into separately. So kind of like separating the 2 different stressors. You take care of your current home first, and then you can focus on the new home. This can be really great, especially when inventory is low or you're looking for something very specific. The downside, of course, for this is that you're having to move twice. You're having to live in rental housing, temporary housing. Sometimes this could include with family or kids, which can be stressful or not stressful depending on your relationship. But either way, it's temporary housing, so it adds a whole element of the unknown. So it works for some people, but not everybody. The third way that a lot of our buyers and sellers are making this move happen is owning 2 houses at once. So what a lot of, especially our 55 plus buyers, are lucky enough to be able to do is to find some other kind of financing that they can purchase their new home before they've sold their old home. And what this does is it makes it so that you don't have to make the move happen until you find your next home. So this way you can be living in your current home, you can be working on downsizing, getting rid of stuff if you need to, maybe doing repairs that you need to. At the same time, you can be shopping for your new home. And you have the financing so that the minute the home that you want, the home that you've been looking for comes on the market, becomes available, you are able to put an offer in. You don't have to try to shuffle around to get your house listed right away. And you don't have to have your house ready to list right away either. So you're able to put an offer in on that new home that's not contingent on your home selling. And then you're able to even potentially move into your next home and then list your current home. But this adds a lot of flexibility. It does allow you to minimize the stress of having to find a place for your stuff, a place for temporary housing, and it minimizes the stress of having to try to do it all in the same day and make everything, both deals contingent on each other going smoothly. So honestly, option number 3, if you can do it, I think has the highest success rate with our clients. It's definitely not for everybody. I certainly understand, the biggest stress with that one is that you are potentially holding 2 properties at the same time. However, most markets, at least at the time that I'm writing this video, really are not having a problem selling their house when they're ready to sell it, as long as they're listing it at a price recommended by their agent that is, based on market comparables. As long as they're motivated to sell it, it shouldn't be hard to get it under contract within a few weeks in most markets. I do have another video called Using Financing When You Are 55 Plus that should have a lot of helpful information if you are interested in kind of exploring some of the other options for financing on your next home instead of having to pull the cash from your home directly. Not all of the financing methods that I mentioned in that video require you to have a mortgage payment for 30 years, 15 years. Several of them are options that would allow you to pay them off early in the process so that you don't have a mortgage payment to worry about. But they still allow you to use financing so that you don't have to necessarily sell your home first. So I definitely encourage you to check that video out if you haven't already. Those are the 3 ways that our buyers tend to make the switching of homes happen. And I think this is really important to think about beforehand. Unfortunately, we have some buyers who don't think about it. They say, well, when the right house comes up, we'll figure it out. And unfortunately, sometimes they lose out on the right house because they don't have their plans in order for how they're going to finance it, if their house is going to be ready to sell right away, all the coordination that can take. It might seem like it will make sense to you when the time comes, but I really think that it's at least good to explore these various options and have at least a plan A, plan B in place for when the right house does come up. If you found this useful, please like and subscribe to our channel.